Doo-doo-doo. Hey, we got two people. Who's here? Hey, everyone. This is my first time ever going live, so giving this a shot. Okay, we're at 4 people, 5 people. If you guys have any questions, it's Saturday night, and I'm in Minot, Happen in town. Do I need to change this? Hey, Alvin, how are you? I know that name. Who do we got coming in? This wasn't really planned. Not a real commenter on your channel, but love the content. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate that. Hey, Michael, welcome. This is my first ever live stream. I've never done this for you guys before, but didn't have any other plans tonight and thought I'd give it a shot here. Am I considering YouTube full time? If you saw my how much YouTube is paying me video, you know I'm doing pretty well. So yes, I can afford a lifestyle that's pretty decent doing YouTube full time, but the question is, do I want to only do YouTube full time? Like, I have a lot of opportunities of other jobs I could take, other things I could be doing. Do I want to solely dedicate to just YouTube, or do I just want to keep it as a side thing, basically like I'm doing right now? Thank you, love. I appreciate that. Hi, Gally. Welcome, welcome. If you guys got questions or anything you want to know, hey, Alan, Adrian, what are your next plans now that you are officially out of the Air Force? I'll eventually make a video once I know 100% where I'm going and what I'm doing, but I got to find a place to live. I'm looking to buy a house, and I need to pick a city basically to move to. So I'm thinking either Las Vegas, Houston, or Orlando. I don't know anybody in those towns. I have no reason to be there specifically, but I want to live in a state that doesn't have state income tax. So I'm thinking about moving to one of those 3 cities. Hey, Ron. Funny how I found you. You had a video analyzing a Karen video. Yeah, that was a funny video to make. Also, and love the investing stuff. I appreciate that. Hi, CB Kid. Red Cowbell. Don't go to Seattle. No, I don't think Seattle is very affordable, unfortunately. My net worth, it's a couple $100,000 now invested and saved, so I'm doing pretty well. I've been waiting forever. Yes, this is my first live stream. This is something I've been putting off, but after 2 years on YouTube, I'm finally getting around to it. What are you doing with all the annual fee cards? They're all getting canceled or downgraded. Now, the Military Lending Act and SCRA benefits, they extend up to 1 year after getting out of active duty. So because I'll be officially off the record or whatever the DoD keeps so that banks can comply with SCRA MLA in February, I basically have until February 2023 before I should be hit with any annual fees. So how many of my credit cards have annual fees? And I think it's like 13 or 14 of them. So they're all getting downgraded or canceled at some point in 2022. It's gonna be kind of fun. Is 36 too old to join the military? No, it's not. I think the military, except for the Marines, but the other branches, they'll accept you as long as you're fit and healthy up until the age of 39. All you got to do is talk to a recruiter. Hi, Jake. Convert or not to from 401k to Roth? Well, that depends. Is it a Roth 401k to a Roth IRA, or is it a traditional 401k to a traditional IRA? You gotta keep those in the same. Oh, I'm losing people here. Okay, Gally lives in Houston. That's good. Great channel. Former military myself with USAA and Fidelity. Your videos are the best online. Thank you so much, James. I came back from Orlando like 14 days. Didn't want to leave. Yeah, I've vacationed in Orlando a couple times. The weather's pretty nice. Denver, nope, don't see myself going to Colorado. Any challenges coming Well, if the market goes into a downturn at any point, I'd like to do some kind of bear investing challenge. But if we can get some decent valuations on some small caps, I'd like to do a small cap trading challenge or a value investing trading challenge. Milwaukee would be best. That's where my parents are. I should probably go back there and spend some more time with them. But under the 100 Club, thanks for your videos. Keep it up. Thanks, Antonio. Atlanta is very affordable, but we do have a 5.5% state tax. Oh no. Hey Craig, good to see you. Yep, came across by chance. How many people we got in here? 87? That's a good number. All right, it's still kind of cozy here. Still doing options. I'm kind of taking the summer off. I've had a lot of trips that I've been doing, and I haven't the last 3 months put out as much individual stock content because I just haven't been home that much. I'm still recording videos as soon when I have free time, but my job in the Air Force plus just summer vacation plans, I just haven't been home enough when the market is open to really be dedicating to individual stock picking. Aim high, best branch out there. Thank you so much, Ben. When should you even use? Oh, it jumped. Okay. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Favorite college football team? That's a trick question, Andy. Being from Wisconsin, I got to go with the Wisconsin Badgers. I wish I had gone to Madison for undergrad, but I didn't. I went to a different state school, Eau Claire. How long will a credit card stay active if you've never used it? That depends on the bank. They could, if you have a year's worth of inactivity, they could deactivate your card. So definitely put like a $20 charge on there every 6 months, and you should be good to keep your credit card active. Is there any crypto project that you like? I've made 2 videos on my channel, Jeremy. If you want to search for them, I've shared my opinion of crypto, and I'm basically at a wait and see point. I don't. I have serious doubts that could be resolved concerning cryptocurrencies, but at this time, I don't see the harm in waiting. I don't ever suffer from FOMO really. So if crypto keeps going up, great. If it's a proven asset that will continue to go up forever, then I could start investing in it seriously in 5 years, and I'm still taken care of, right? Like, what's the harm in waiting to see if government regulation is coming, or if a better technology will emerge, or maybe Amazon coin or Facebook coin will show up, and then nobody will want Ethereum or Bitcoin anymore. I mean, we've all seen what happened to Dogecoin the last 3 months. It's down like 70%. I didn't even make a video about it. I couldn't even take it serious back when it was taking off in April. Hey, Jake, what do you think about housing prices? They're terrible. I hate it. I go on Zillow every 3 weeks and I look at houses and the potential cities that I want to live in. And I look at the Zillow home price, chart over time. And literally every house the last 3 months is shot up $100,000 or like 20%. It's ridiculous. Have you ever considered Tampa? No, I haven't. But Florida doesn't have state income tax. Magic or Pokemon? That's a trick question, Michael. I'm a Magic the Gathering player. I've got a bookshelf over there filled with all my Fat Pack boxes. It's something I haven't played recently, but I'd love to get back into it as soon as I can find a good card playing club that's not Minot. You should come to Minneapolis. I have many friends in Minneapolis. I love Minneapolis. If that's where you are, Kevin. Really like your channel, to the point and concise. Yeah, I probably should put in some more production. That might up my views, but I'm a simple guy, guys. I like keeping things concise. Let's see, who do we got here? Jake, I got a new job. Should I roll over my 401k? It depends. You know, if your old 401k plan has a fund that has a low expense fee, like maybe your old 401k is with Vanguard or Fidelity, and you just want to keep it there in a low cost fund, doesn't hurt. But if your current employer has a better 401k provider with better options, then yeah, roll it over. It's just some paperwork. People do it all the time. Besides the regular advice, Roth, company match, S&P, what would be 1 or 2 more important things you've learned over the last 2 years? I think Dave Ramsey says this, that you know, you can't tell somebody they have to earn more income. You know, sometimes if they're just not putting in 40 hours a week, it's easy to tell someone like you need to get full-time employment. But earning more income is difficult for a lot of people, but everybody can spend less. So find things in your life where you're going to have to change your lifestyle in some cases, where you can save on expenses. A dollar not spent is like $1.20 you're saving, because to earn an additional dollar, you got to pay taxes on it. So every time, once you realize this conceptually, that like if I don't spend 20 bucks, I'm basically earning 24, 25 bucks. It just changes the way you think. So I mean, I've never done an apartment tour. Maybe I should make a video on that. But I live pretty minimal up here in Minot, North Dakota. Current asset allocation, I'd say more than half of what I own is just in S&P 500 index funds, and then I try and have a little bit of money on the side to do options with. Sean says, Jake, I was curious how I should be thinking about my allocations towards risk-off positions such as treasuries, cash, utilities, and gold. It all depends on what you're investing for on what time scale. So if the market takes a dip, guys, in the next couple months, remember, is that money you're investing, do you need it in the next couple months, or do you need it in 20 years? If it's in 20 years and the market declines 30% in the next 6 months, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's always a possibility. If the market goes down and you sell while the market is down, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, if you can buy more, but otherwise you just got to hold, you just got to bear it. You always got to remember when you buy an asset, how long are you investing for? What's your long-term game plan? I just got the Bank of America Premium Rewards card and transferred over funds to get platinum honors. Congratulations. Your videos on these were very useful. Thank you, G. For those with the current investment strategies, where is the next Austin for me to buy a house? Maybe Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know. I don't know anyone in North Carolina. Is it true that each authorized user on a platinum gets the global entry credits? Yes, the TSA PreCheck global entry. If you're an authorized user for the Amex Platinum card, you can go through the process, use the authorized user card, and you'll be reimbursed. Jake, you ever gonna do more UFO paranormal stuff on your channel? I want to, guys. I'm a believer. I love science fiction. I love science, and I definitely think there's more to the story than what we're officially told by governments. And as soon as I got something more concrete I can share with you guys, I mean, speculation is fun. I could do it all day, but I definitely probably should be keeping it factual. That's just my style. How much do you invest in such a high market? I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really do the whole 3 to 6 months emergency funds because I am in the military. I'm pretty confident I'm going to keep getting paid on the 1st and the 15th. Something would have to go very wrong for the military to stop paying me. But I mean, I try and keep liquid cash in a checking account between 8 and 10,000. But everything else is in my brokerage accounts, being invested in something, and I don't buy bonds, guys. Let's see here. Thoughts on the Afghanistan response? It's time to go. 20 years. Geez, that's a serious question. But it's been 4 presidential administrations. This is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a bipartisan thing. You could read books about the structural deficiencies of that country. The quote is, Afghanistan is where empires go to die. I don't want to be there anymore. And it would honestly be cheaper to just relocate every Afghani who ever helped U.S. forces anyway. Just relocate them and give them a stipend for life. That would be cheaper than continuing staying there or keeping forces there. So we just got to get out. And in the short term, it's a tragedy, but in the long run, I mean, it's very consistent with the history of Afghanistan, unfortunately. I know the percentage of increase will be lower, but it still allows me one system. Song, hey Jake, love watching your videos. Do credit card companies provide a better interest rate on personal loans? I don't understand that question. I would not be getting personal loans from credit card companies. Do you feel like there is a weird power problem between enlisted and officer? Weird to think I have to salute some guy just because he got a degree. So the whole officer versus enlisted dynamic, interesting for me, but it's historical. I think it's a little antiquated in the modern era, but 200 years ago, children of rich families would go to service academies to get a commission, and they got to be treated differently because, like, their fathers literally were like senators or, barons or nobles or whatever. Officers used to be, highly skilled people with certain skills, or the children of rich kids who need to be protected, and that's a system that we've kept. But yeah, in the post World War II era, you know, it's just a remnant of how it is, and that's the system. So if you're uncomfortable or disapproving of the enlisted versus officer dynamic, get your degree, apply to OTS, become an officer. That's what I tell anyone that gripes about the pay inequality and the responsibility difference. But you're held to a higher standard. I know from the enlisted side, sometimes you don't see it, but as an officer, trust me, we're definitely held to a higher standard. Why is Fidelity not selling Bitcoin stock? That's a good question. I don't know. I think I don't know. That's a good question. I don't see why. All these Bitcoin or crypto ETFs are coming. So if you want to buy a crypto ETF with a Fidelity brokerage account, you can do that. Fidelity just doesn't offer their own mutual funds, basically. Ever considered Alaska, Ryan? No, I've never considered Alaska. Sorry. I want to visit though. It looks interesting. I'll come in the summertime. Ideas for someone starting out in active investing for a 23-year-old with 10K in taxable investment accounts. Can't go wrong, picking a stock and doing the wheel strategy, or selling covered calls, cash secured puts if you're assigned. I love the wheel strategy if you can, find a boring bank stock to do it on or something. Housing bubble, how would you short it? Ooh. I wouldn't. I don't know how. I hope there's not another housing collapse. That would be bad. But I do want to see basically the last 3 months of house price increases reversed. That would be nice if we could go back to what housing levels were just 4 months ago. I'll take housing prices in April or May. That would be healthy. But this summer has just been nuts. You should check out Atlanta for property. Okay, Dave. Okay. Atlanta's good. USA Ball. Hey, Jake, what is your opinion between growth versus value? How about small versus large cap? It's all relative on what you want to do here. I haven't made the video series on this yet, but I've been reading books about value investing, and I'm a value investor. I can't help but look at the financials and say, is this undervalued, and does it have potential? Growth stocks, though, it's been a good decade for growth stocks for sure. Yankee Doodle, how's it going? Ben, South Dakota doesn't have state income tax either. That's true, Ben, but there's not enough people in South Dakota. That's kind of the problem I have with North Dakota. Hooyah, sir. Justin Credible. Just have to say you have given myself and my teeth so much info. When it comes to different brokerage accounts to use, Charles Schwab and different cards. G asks about Merrill versus Vanguard. I'll just go ahead and say Vanguard, but I know people who invest with Merrill Edge, and no complaints, no problem. Thank you for saying hi, Taylor. Good to see you as well. Johnny, do you feel a crash is on the horizon? I definitely think the market has to stop going up. I think the valuations, when you compare, just you can look at Apple, what they were valued at as far as PE, or price to free cash flow, in 2012 through 2016, and the last couple of years have been unusual, in addition to the last 15 months. So I don't want to see a market crash, guys, but I think when the Fed stops buying US Treasuries, this is called tapering, then the market will stop rising. Hopefully, it just trades sideways for a while, and nobody will panic. But when somebody yells fire in a crowded theater, people tend to panic. So we might have a couple of volatile days where people think that they're getting ahead of the curve, and then everybody's stop losses are triggered. But I definitely think there will be snapbacks, and the market isn't going to permanently go down by like 20% or something. Hey, Jake's thoughts on Alibaba. I'm really interested in it, but I'm looking at the technicals. I'm waiting for that 200-day moving average to come down a little bit more, and for the stock to stop falling. In some of my videos, guys, I've told you that if a stock is falling, just look at the chart. Doesn't matter if it's a good deal now. If the share price is falling, it can't even get above its 20-day moving average. Don't buy it yet. Wait for it to stabilize at some value. It's not going to go anywhere in the short term. And then once it looks like it's stopped falling, that's a good time to buy. So I'm waiting for Alibaba to stop falling before I make a video about it. What you do after work besides making videos? I read, I watch trashy reality TV sometimes. It's my guilty pleasure. I'm a huge fan of Nikki Glaser, and I just watched F-Boy Island on HBO Max while I was deployed to the field last week. So that was my guilty pleasure for the week, watching trashy reality TV. Hey man, what do you think of gold? I made a video talking about gold. I mean, there's the gold mining companies, which I think are doing excellent, and then there's gold itself. I don't personally recommend gold. I don't see the appeal. I think honestly, crypto has surpassed gold as far as being a store of wealth. You can still buy gold. Hopefully, it can beat inflation, but it just long term can't compare to just holding a simple index fund. Dustin, I love Vanguard for the simplicity and their mutual funds. I have noticed, though, with platforms like TD Ameritrade, lots more tools. Vanguard is investor owned, which means they keep everything bare bones. They don't have all the flashy stuff. They don't have trading software. Fidelity has Active Pro, and Schwab has Street Smart Edge, and then obviously TD Ameritrade has Thinkorswim, which is the most popular. But Vanguard's never going to do it. They're not going to spend money to hire a development team to develop trading software. Whoa, we got 196 people in here. That's incredible. Thank you guys. 68 likes. That's pretty good. Zillow stock has come way down. Does it look like a buy? I don't know. Let's look it up real quick. When was it? How long has Zillow been? I made a video, guys, but I don't buy IPOs. People keep asking me about Airbnb, and I'm just going to wait a year. There's so many investors with lockup agreements. The original A series, B series, who have shares, and all they want to do is unload it and then go to the next startup or small company to invest in. So I just don't trust any stock, any IPO in its first year until all those lockup agreements expire. Wow. Holy cow. Look at Zillow. So it was at $200 a share on February 16th, and it's now at 96. So if you want to buy Zillow at $96 a share currently, and just hold it a couple years, could it get back to all-time highs and double its price? Here's the thing, though, is look at its technicals. If you plug in the moving averages, it can't get above its 20-day moving average. So if it's falling, don't buy it, guys. Just wait for it to bottom out. And it's actually in a death cross event currently where the 50-day is below the 200-day moving average. So large funds aren't going to touch this stock. So they're not going to help you bring the price up in the short term. So Zillow's probably going to go lower. I don't know if they're issuing new stock. How long has this been publicly traded? Okay, it's been around like 4 or 5 years, but wow, this was trading. Oh, so this so during the March crash in 2020, this got as low as $30, and it's currently at 96. Honestly, I could see this without even looking at the valuations, guys. I could see this getting back down to $50 at least. So no, don't buy Zillow. That's my final assessment. Oh, geez, it jumped. Jake, invest or pay off student loans? It depends on well, if your student loans are federal student loans and they're into forbearance, then they're not charging you interest, so don't pay them off until the interest starts. And then if your interest payments are basically greater than 5%, I say take care of the debt. If anything over 5%, you probably want to pay that off because that's a guaranteed 5%. Investing to try and overcome that it doesn't make sense to me in the short term. 3 more to 200. True story, Adrian. We're at 207. Congrats. Hi, Jake. Nice to see you live. Could you make videos on I don't know what that is. Nintendo or PlayStation? I have a PS4, and I don't have many games for it. I still occasionally will pick it up and play Skyrim. You know, the remastered edition that came out a couple of years ago. And I'm a big fan of the Dynasty Warriors series, and I still occasionally play Dynasty Warriors 8 for the cutscenes. I think it's hilarious. It's a really fun game to play. Just, like 20, 30 minutes before bed. I also play Fortnite sometimes because it's free, and I cannot argue with free. I've been playing it over 2 years, and I've never once purchased a skin or an umbrella or any of their stuff. But yeah, Fortnite is endless free entertainment if you can just resist buying that stuff. Oh, will you stay in the same? Brian asks where I'm going once I get out of the Air Force, and I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'm leaning towards either Las Vegas, Houston, or Orlando. Will asks, any chance you may return to South Korea? I'm going to visit next year. I plan on visiting South Korea in like April, May, or June for probably a good amount of time, maybe like 5 or 6 weeks. But will I ever live there again? It doesn't seem likely. I don't see myself moving there when I can basically just visit and get the experience. Could you please make some videos on beginners how to analyze stocks and some good bad advice for Reddit monkeys? Yeah, I do plan on making some videos soon about value investing, which will cover basically how to analyze earning statements and the fundamentals of a company. Haven't made those yet because I want to kind of map out. It's going to be a series, guys. So it's going to be like 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 videos breaking down what to look for and how to value a company. My trading challenge, it was basically, hey, I'm gonna look at these 5 things, takes 2 minutes. That's all I look at before I get into stock. But I personally want to know the deeper things, how to understand that. Opinion on Dave Ramsey. I think 80%, 90% of his advice is solid. He and I will agree on many things, but he oversimplifies it. And anybody who calls into his show, watches his YouTube videos, he's basically treating you like an alcoholic. He assumes you're an idiot who can't take control of your own life, so he offers a system that millions of people have benefited from. They have successfully followed his program, but it's not the best system. He recommends 15-year mortgages, and that's insane when you can get a mortgage for under 3% currently. If you can get a mortgage for 3%, then get a 30-year mortgage. That doesn't make any sense to pay extra money when you could instead be investing that and earning more than 3%. There's a bunch of little things about his philosophy that he does to simplify things that mathematically is not the best way to do it. But he's not gonna bust out a whiteboard or a PowerPoint presentation to explain math to his listeners. I do that, but he's never going to do that. Let's see here. Good news, they're going to release Skyrim again? What for? Jeez, Bethesda, get the next game out. It's been 11 years. Thoughts on Disca in the next couple months? I don't know. I haven't looked at Disca since I got trapped in that, what was it, Archegos scandal? It looks like it's still going down. Yep, still going down. Yeah, I was messing around with this when this was around 37 and it's currently at 28. Honestly, you probably still want to wait for that 200-day moving average to come down. The 200-day moving average is at 36. So until the share price can get above that, I would not be buying Disca. It's still falling. Wait a minute. Ooh, I got a $5 donation from JR. Thank you so much, JR. You are my first ever super chat. I've super chatted other people, but that's the first time I've ever received a direct donation from somebody. I appreciate that. Could you make videos about what stock or ETF we should buy? Of course, suggestions. I do plan on making more recommendations. I think during my Schwab 25K challenge, I definitely was forcing things. I was trying to make things happen. But the more experience I gain, the more I realize that you can be as slow as you want finding stocks. There are days where I'm on my computer and I'm researching stocks and I'm just looking at stuff and I say to myself, am I forcing it, or is there something actually there? So when I see something that looks irresistible to me, I will definitely make a video. Like I said, I haven't been too active this summer, but going into this fall, I will be doing more individual stock research and recommendations. Whoo, Travel Invest, good to see you, man. Wow. If you guys don't know Travel Invest, this guy's been plugging away for years. I really appreciate him and his content. I remember his is one of the first credit card channels that I found, and I really like that. I really like you, guy. I'm happy to see your channel take off. You've put in the work, and I see you grind. Keep it up. It is a grind, man. I've been putting out a 15 to 20-minute video every 48 hours, pretty much for over a year now. So I've made, it's like 180 videos a year. So I've easily made about 180 videos in the last 12 months. Thoughts about ASPS and where it can go from now? Don't care on the short term. Like I said, that's a 1 to 3 year play, man. So we're not gonna know anything about the company until their next quarterly earnings statements in October, I think. In addition, there's challenges to the eviction moratorium being extended, even though it's targeted this time. Don't really want to talk about this, but let's go ahead and just say it that it's going to go back to the Supreme Court, and Justice Kavanaugh is going to have to say whether or not he meant what he meant in his first brief, that only Congress could extend it, that the CDC didn't have the ability to just extend it. So I think the Supreme Court's going to overrule it, and if it does, ASPS is going to shoot up above $10 again. Jake, would you hey Mike, would you consider doing more videos on joining the military as an officer, prior service guy looking to soak in knowledge from you? I made quite a few military videos last October, November. I mean, I really dedicated like 2 months to it. And those are my worst performing videos. Some of them barely just broke recently 1,000 views. I don't know why. I mean, I look at the other large military YouTubers and I say, hey, why not me? But for some reason, I just can't get any traction with the algorithm talking about military life or military finance or anything like that. So I'll still make occasional videos, but I can't dedicate any more time to military life or content because it's just not going anywhere. Since you're leaving, JBZ says, since you're leaving the Army, are you going to start downgrading, canceling all your credit cards? Yes. Lots of people concerned, but don't worry, guys. I'm not going to be paying, my annual fees being waived is probably close to like $5,000 or something ridiculous. Now that the Amex Platinum, went up, and I've got 3 of them here. So let's see. Has there been anything interesting lately on UFOs? Sadly, no. There's a new documentary on Netflix I saw. Once again, with the same guy who made the last one. So I think just because it's a hot story, Netflix wanted to quickly get something out there. But Not really any new info. 233 people, and we're at 34 minutes here. Hey, Pac-Man, good to see you. Hey, Jake, Schwab versus Fidelity, only pick one. Ugh. I like the user interface with Schwab. I think the black text on white with the occasional blue just as a more pleasing color scheme. Fidelity is really green. There's black text on green background sometimes, and I think Schwab is just cleaner, but both are good options. Let's see here. Okay, so we got a super chat from Coral. Hey, Coral, thank you for the $5. That's amazing. I like the emoji, but you didn't ask a question. Christopher B is asking for the LOSH codes. You forgot an end there. LOSH codes. I don't have any lunch codes. 15 minutes to Moscow. Actually, it's 23. Hi, Jake. What do you think about Activision stock? I don't know. Let's look it up. Activision Blizzard. I've never played any of their games, but people say it's a good company. It's falling. That's what I see with Activision. Put the 20-day moving average on the charts, and it's in a downtrend. Without even looking at the fundamentals, where is the share price going? It's currently at 82. It's probably going to go back to its lows last November of 75. So watch out for that. Priestess, Hachima, am I saying that right? Are after-tax 401 contributions limited by income? After-tax so a Roth 401k? No. If you're contributing to a Roth 401k through payroll deductions with your job, there is no limit by income. Tommy says hi. Hi, Tommy. Clorox Bleach. That's a good name. Hey, Jake, how did you best prepare for the Air Force fitness assessments and the AFOQT? Fitness assessments, just you got to run, man. You got to go to the gym. I have a Planet Fitness membership. It's like $20 a month. Just get on the treadmill and practice running a mile and a half, and do that every day for a couple weeks, and then do push-ups. The only other thing is sit-ups. I don't really feel like I needed to practice that, so I just did push-ups and running, and it was good enough. As far as the Air Force officer qualifying tests, it's just SAT stuff. In my video where I talk about applying to OTS, I recommend you go on a website called Khan Academy, and they have like SAT math and SAT verbal, reading comprehension. It's basically the same thing. So just go on Khan Academy. It's free, and you can take practice tests. Do you think it's ideal to put 100% of your money in long-term investments to where you hodl and never sell? I actually got a video coming out about this, about basically how the super rich avoid paying taxes forever by never selling. So I'm still fleshing out the details. I'll have this video up for you guys probably in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, the game played by the super rich is actually to never sell investments ever. They hold, and then they borrow against their investments, and they just basically eat it on the margin interest they have to pay on their debts. But as long as their assets invested grow faster than what they borrow against their assets, they still net make money, and they never have to pay taxes. So I gave you guys a preview of a video I'm working on currently. What else do we got going on here? Luna says, you're the GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate that. What are the 2 fastest ways to boost your credits? Pay down debt. I think, all the other metrics, if you have hard inquiries or if you missed payments in the past, nothing you can do about that now. But if you currently are carrying balances on any of your cards, pay them down if you can. That, I think, would boost your credit fastest in the short term. As far as credit history, there's nothing you can do about that. Whew, chat's going crazy here. 222. Have you ever participated in a pre-IPO? No, I haven't. That'd be nice, though, to get the IPO price, and then as soon as it goes public, sell it on the first day for a 20% profit. That's what everybody else does who gets the IPO prices. AC Halligan, thank you for the $5. Huge thanks for your credit card videos. Opened up 4 after watching and have been reaping the benefits. Thoughts on the Space Force? Ooh, I don't know. It's probably a good thing to. I don't think it needed to be its own branch. We could have just changed the name of the Air Force to the Air and Space Force. Basically, the Space Force is like a subunit of the Air Force, kind of like how the Marines are a subunit of the Navy. Okay, sure. If they want to have their own name tag and technically be their own branch, that's cool. But I didn't really see the point. They could have just changed the name of the Air Force to Air and Space Force. Let's see what do we got else going on here. Whew. I was asking about the limits. Hey, Priestess, I was asking about the limit on total contribution per year based on what you earn from the job. Assuming no employer match, would you have to earn 58,000 there to contribute 58,000? So the contribution limits of your own money to a Roth 401k or traditional 401k is 19,500 a year. So because it's funded through payroll deductions, then yeah, I mean you have to earn 19,500 a year for 19,500 a year to come out of your paycheck to go into your 401k. Ooh, whoa, it's going here. Aparex, hey, just curious on your thoughts on the Alliant Signature card, no annual fee, 2.5% up to 10,000 a month. You have to use their checking, but no annual fee. Yeah, if you want to bank with Alliance, yeah, seems like a good no annual fee card. Are you going to keep your Schwab Platinum card despite the annual fee increase? No, I'm going to cancel all 3 of my Amex Platinums. The only luxury card that I see myself keeping and paying the annual fee is the Amex Hilton Aspire, just because I think with the free nights and the 250 hotel credit, that basically can cover the annual fee. Plus, you get a travel credit if you want to use it, and you get diamond status. Plus, you have a higher multiple when you stay at Hilton properties. So as long as you like Hilton, I just think the Hilton Aspire card is so good. I don't want them to raise the annual fee. Okay, we got Mike Maximus. Will a criminal justice bachelor's degree help get into a job you have in the Air Force? After seeing your video, I really want to pursue that path. That's awesome. If you are talking about being a missileer like I am, I don't think criminal justice is any better or worse than any other social science degree or potentially a degree in the humanities. The only thing that the Air Force really prioritizes, if they say, "Ooh, you got this," is a STEM degree: science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine. If you have one of those degrees in a hard sciences where you've taken advanced physics, mathematics, chemistry, then they'll prioritize your degree. But it isn't a deterrence having any other degree, as long as maybe you have work experience or volunteer experience. It's all how you market yourself. When applying, the most important thing is the in-person interview with the detachment commander. If you present yourself well, if you speak clearly, if you look professional and confident, your degree, obviously get good grades, get a good GPA, but I mean the other stuff I think is more important. Whoa, Jake Baker, that's a good name. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I'm gonna say yes. Yes, hot dog is definitely a sandwich. Who thoughts on Intel? I like Intel. There's a couple of value investing channels I follow. There's 3 guys on the channel Everything Money, and they've been hyping up Intel for a while now. I think I think Intel has been losing market share to their competitors and Nvidia and AMD. But I mean, there's no shortage of demand for chips in this country. So I don't really understand what they're doing with this whole. They're creating a foundry thing, and they're going to let companies basically build their own chips with their equipment. So we'll see how that pans out. But once again, looking at the technicals, this stock cannot get above its 20-day moving average. So this was as high as Intel was as high as 68 and it's now down to 52 and it's still falling. So wait for it to stop falling and then catch it on the way back up. But I do like Intel. What are all military benefits you can get after getting your DD 214? The two biggest are the VA loan to buy a home and the GI Bill, assuming you get an honorable discharge. There's also VA disability if you qualify. Definitely make sure your medical records are in order and you take serious, I think it's called your SHIPPY, prior to separating. Any ways to avoid taxes without getting caught? No, that's illegal. Don't do that. Let's see here. Do you own taxes or pay a professional? Do I do my own taxes or pay a professional? That's what Jesse asks. And I do my own taxes. It's a learning process. I have fun. You know, it's TurboTax. It's really TurboTax doing it for me. They're asking me all the questions. But I think I'm earning so much now, and I'm just planning on making it even more complicated in the near future that I do need to hire a professional. But I'm paying that person to not only do my taxes, but to teach me what they're doing because I want to understand everything. So hopefully I can educate myself a little bit more so I don't look like an idiot in their office asking them what they do. But I want to learn with them. And if they can teach me and guide me to do my taxes in a smart way, then I will pay them top dollar. Let's see here. AppRex Vanguard seems to be making a new app called Vanguard Beacon. Will you be reviewing it? Is it still in beta? I downloaded it in beta a while ago, but I haven't looked at it. But if they can get if they can get a better app than what they have, it would be worth reviewing. After you max out your TSP, can you contribute to a Roth IRA? You can contribute to a Roth IRA as long as you have income at any time. You don't have to max out your TSP first, which is the government 401k, before going to an IRA. You can do both simultaneously, or you can do one and not the other, vice versa. Matt asks, thoughts on leaps of Microsoft? It just never seems to stop going up. Microsoft was the hot stock this week because they announced they were raising the price on basically Microsoft Office. It's called Microsoft 365 now, but they announced that they're raising their prices on it by like $10, and it's the first time they've raised prices in like 10 years. So if Microsoft can get away with raising their prices and nobody quits using Office or Outlook or Excel, then yeah, I mean, if they've got 300 million users worldwide and they just increased by $10, their revenue, pure profit, is going up by 3 billion. So yeah, Microsoft was up huge last week, and leaps. I mean, yeah, just make sure that expiration date is as far out as possible, so that in the near term you're not caught in a downturn. Evil Genius, good to see you, man. Your thoughts on electric cars, Tesla, and government going all electric? Yeah, I hope my next car that I buy is an electric car. I don't see why anyone would be opposed to electric cars. Let's see here. Would you like your IRA to purchase stocks funds at a cheaper price to bring down your averages? Okay, there's a conversation happening here that I'm not privy to. Okay, let's see here. Whew. Steven, what's up, Jake? Any credit card videos on the horizon? Uh, you know, if a new card launches and I think it's a good no annual fee card that I want to recommend, like the City Custom Cash, then I will definitely cover it. I almost made a video about what's that crypto card, the BlockFi card or something. It's a 1%, 1.5% cashback card, guys. I almost made a video just bashing it, but you know, I have so many video topic ideas that I want to make a video just saying, hey, this card sucks. Like, I don't think it's worth my time. Hey, Jake, how do you do your K1? Harsha? I'm not sure what you mean by K1. The Trade Guy, great channel. It was fun watching the 25K to 50K challenge week by week. Thank you so much. I appreciate you following that challenge. Do you prefer Schwab or Fidelity for options? I prefer Schwab. I just enjoy their user interface better. By the way, your videos are very educational. Thank you. Yankee Doodle, rental income, property, or investing in stocks. I think you should do both if you're interested. You know, some people just don't want to put up with the hassle of buying property and then finding tenants and then dealing with all that. But you know, having both is diversification. I don't, you know, how many people have lost money in real estate the last 30 years? It's not many. Same thing with people buying index funds. So yeah, Yankee Doodle. If you can do both, I recommend doing both. I know Jake holds the door for everyone. You bet I do. I always hold the door for people. Thoughts on Mark Kohler? He seems to teach some very interesting tax and investing strategies. Isn't he one of those ape guys? Mark Kohler? No, no, no. That's somebody else. No, I don't know Mark Kohler. I've never seen his stuff before. 192,000 subscribers, so he must be doing something right. Oh, hi Ginger. Rubes says, thanks for getting me educated on the TSP, completely redirected my money and looking much better. Ryan asks, do you have an opinion on Dave Ramsey's investing advice, specifically his 12% mutual funds? I hate it that Dave Ramsey always talks about how his mutual funds that he's in outperforms the S&P 500 index, yet he refuses to tell people on air what those funds are and you know what company they're with. Like if you're going to say nanner, my mutual funds beat the market average, then tell your viewers where to put their money. But obviously, I think he's not going to do that for free, and he would rather be sponsored by that mutual fund. But they don't care about Dave Ramsey. I think with actively managed funds in the short term, they can outperform the index. But in recessions, in downtimes, they dramatically underperform the index. They get it really right when times are good, and they get it really wrong when times are bad. So no, I don't recommend actively managed funds. I don't care about Dave's 12% funds. Kevin says, really missed your military finance videos. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate that. Ooh, Madhu, more questions. Okay, a personal question here. You may choose not to take it. Why aren't you married yet? I am 37 and unmarried, guys. That's a long, complicated story. I came close, I would say, a couple times. You know, I had a college girlfriend for 3 years, and being where I'm from in Wisconsin, I feel like that's just the culture. You go to college, you meet somebody in college, and then after you graduate, you guys move somewhere, start jobs, get engaged, get married, and I dodged a bullet, maybe. I don't want to be too critical, but then I went to South Korea for 6 years, and yeah, I mean, every time I break up with someone, it's because either I'm leaving the continent or they're leaving the continent. And then I've been stuck in Minot the last 4 years, and I'm sad to report, guys, but the dating scene here is not up to my standards. Jake Baker, $5. Thank you so much. Thanks for the great videos and not following the pack with your contents. Yeah, I'm just gonna do my own thing. You know, I don't know how big this channel will ever get, guys, but I make the content I want to make. Now, I definitely think I could probably up the production value a little bit with some transitions and establishing shot, B-roll, music. You know, I could probably do all that stuff. But as far as getting into the specifics and the math, I'm never going to stop doing that. I know that as soon as I start busting out equations, maybe half the people watching the video just click out immediately. People freak out about math for some reason, but that's the approach that I'm going to take because it's fun for me. Bob Johnson, do you know if I can contribute RMD money to a Roth? Is it treated as ordinary income? So I wonder if I can invest it in a Roth. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're taking distributions from a retirement account, you can still contribute to your retirement accounts. Not a 401k if you're not working, but an IRA, I believe, if you are. There's no reason why. If you can keep contributing to a Roth IRA even when you're retired and over 70 years old. Ryan Niles says, yes, we need to know about Jake's love life, or that lack thereof. COVID has not been a good year for anyone's love life, probably for single people, the last 16 months, guys. Oh, you're gonna give me flashbacks. Jake, what do you think of Chinese stocks? Is it a good idea to short? I mean, people are making a lot of money shorting Tencent, Baidu, and Alibaba right now. It's that's on you if you want to risk it. I think the big companies, they're probably safe to buy, but I think there are IPOs coming out of China all the time that are pretty sketch. They're basically scams, and the Chinese government's not going to stop them. So if they're big enough, then like Alibaba is, I would feel comfortable investing in Alibaba, but all these other sketch Chinese IPOs, nope, wouldn't touch it. Abel says, thank you for the helpful videos. TGI Frank, do you still own the Amazon stock, and did you add to the position at all? No, I don't own any Amazon stock currently, but it's having a pullback, and it basically hasn't gone up in almost a year. Bob Johnson, Jake, you are the Khan Academy of investing. Thanks so much. Oh, that's a really high compliment, because I think very highly of Khan Academy, guys. Ooh, I've been talking for almost an hour now. Whew. Oh, Twist and Shouts says, how are you tonight? Well, it's a Saturday night in Minot, and doing my first live stream. Never done this before, guys. Having a lot of fun. I sometimes wonder, why do 250 people want to watch me? And will I have enough people asking questions to fill the time? But we're having fun here. We're skipping around from Air Force stuff to investing stuff to credit cards to UFOs to being single. Oh, geez. Is any thoughts on how long it might take Wish to turn around? Wish. What is Wish? Nope. Wow. So I don't know what this company is. Context Logic Inc. IPO'd at $22 and it's currently $6. No, don't touch that for the first year. That's an IPO. You mentioned real estate. Okay. How much savings do you recommend holding in a bank as opposed to keeping in investment accounts? Any reason to have more than 6 months worth of savings in a bank? No. 6 months living expenses, that's a pretty good cushion if you lose your job and gotta find a new job. And if it's in a checking or savings accounts, you're only getting 0.01 or 0.02% on your money. So it's better to find a way to invest it. Oh, we got Kim Kardashian in the chat. Okay. Tom Lewis, I don't like Dave Ramsey. He's a book salesman. DS says, hi, Jake. Would you max out Roth IRA first, then HSA? If you qualify for an HSA, technically HSAs are better because it's a tax deduction this year, tax-free if you take it out for healthcare purposes. However, if you just hold it until you're 65 and you never use it, you can use it as a retirement account. So technically, if you qualify, you have a high deductible plan, HSAs are better. And it's a smaller contribution limit. I forget what it is, but I think it's only like $2,000 a year. Evil genius, Jake, if Dave Ramsey told people what mutual funds he was invested in, then he wouldn't be able to get affiliate fees from non-fiduciary financial advisors. Yes, those investor pros that basically have to just follow his business model. Hi, Caesar. How are you? Let's see here. Swing for the ring says I married up. That's the goal, right? I gotta marry rich guys because then I can be a house husband, a stay-at-home YouTube dad. That'd be the dream job that I really want. Is Jeff Bezos stepping down a sign that Amazon is in trouble? Nope, I don't think it matters at all. I think actually Jeff Bezos stepping down is a good thing because it can show continuity of the company and continued growth. Obviously, there is an X factor with good leadership and in the corporate world, but I don't I don't know what I don't think Jeff Bezos is that special relative to other CEOs in the S&P 500 is what I'm saying. I would like to see you build a hypothetical stock portfolio for different amounts. Maybe see how you would invest $1 million. Okay, Boom Slang, that's a good idea. Seriously, thanks for talking critically on Amex. Their cards are not that good. Yeah, I made that Amex Platinum video with the Jazzy Jambalaya Campbell's soup reference because why do you want this stuff? All these random credits, Amex is just silly. But if you use the airport lounges enough, it's worth it. If you don't, it's not worth it. Whew, what do we got here? Yankee Doodle just wanted to contribute to your first live stream and thank you for the value you bring to the community. Cheers. Thank you so much, Yankee Doodle. I know you've been with the channel a long time. I see your comments all the time. I really appreciate you. Who multimeter $5. I'm Casey Burns and I approve this. Oh, that's a burn multimeter. Wow, that's a burn. For those who don't know, I had to block Casey Burns on my channel. He took commenting and then upping his own comments to self-promote his own channel too far. And the dude is just all over the comment section of so many channels, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I told him, hey man, if you leave a comment, have it be relevant to my video. And he just would try and say something that would get upvotes and then direct people to his channel. So long, Casey. Can you roll over 6,000 into a Roth IRA from a 401k? You can if it's a Roth 401k, but if it's a traditional 401k and you roll over $6,000, that is a taxable event. So you're going to have to pay your marginal tax rate on that money. How do you feel about uranium stocks? Don't know anything about it. Haven't looked into it. Sorry, Raymond. Hey, James, you made it. You made it to my live stream. What are your thoughts on silicon carbide semiconductors as a tech to invest in? How do I find a good company to get behind? Well, James, if you think this is a serious thing, you should look up the semiconductor stocks. That would be Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, Texas Instruments. What are the other big ones? And figure out who's the leader, who's the one pioneering that, and then if you want to buy the individual stock, go for it. I feel like anybody buying a semiconductor stock over the next 10 years is probably not going to lose money. Great show. Learn a lot about options from you. Thank you, Alex. Swing for the ring. Jake has videos on how to do it. Just research his YouTube channel. Any thoughts on coffee can investing portfolio? Coffee can and sorry, Anugrah, I don't know what that is. AC Halligan, I would personally love to see more Q&As like this. Glad I managed to catch the first one ever. Keep up the good work, brother. Thank you so much, AC. Yeah, I could make this a regular thing. Not every week. Obviously, I'm gone a lot, and I can't do this when I'm posted in the field. But I could see myself doing this maybe like once every 3 weeks, just bringing you guys in. So we got 181 thumbs up and 227 people currently. That's impressive. Is there any mixed martial arts clubs or boxing clubs on bases? I don't know. Not that I'm aware of at Minots, but I feel like there would have to be somewhere on some bases. Yeah, there's boxing and there's floor mats that people practice. Yeah. Madhu asks, are you a homeowner or a renter? I'm a renter, a forever renter. I'm looking to buy my first home using the VA loan this year. Do you invest in commodities? No, not currently. Not saying I ever wouldn't, but at this time I do not. Okay, what do we got? Tow Truck, congrats on your first live stream. Thank you so much, Tow Truck. B-Man Guitar, $5. Thank you so much. Can 60,000 of gold coins bullion be moved into an IRA? No. I mean, so your contribution limit per year is $6,000. Maybe if you held assets in an ordinary account and you wanted to transfer that in, I think you would still be limited by the value of $6,000. So, how would you get $60,000 worth of gold coins into an IRA? I mean, I don't know. You'd have to do $6,000 a year worth at a time. Is there any advantage, disadvantage to having accounts with all three of the big brokers? Could you give a quick summary of the strengths and weaknesses? Well, I've got a video on that, so you should go watch the video Fidelity versus Schwab versus Vanguard. I have all three. They're free. Why not have them? So if you don't want to use them, don't use them. But there's nothing, no pullback to having all of them. Caesar says, I just use the no annual fee cards that Amex offers, not interested in the big fees, not worth it. Yeah, the Blue Cash preferred, or is it the Blue Cash every day? Whatever the business card is, that's no annual fee, that gets you 2.5 Amex points for every dollar spent. That is the secret cheat code of earning Amex points. So I recommend that. DNMC gives a $5 donation. Awesome job with the channel. Love your content. Do you mind sharing your average monthly AdSense revenue with 60K subs? Any feedback appreciated. I'm currently earning close to about $8,000 a month from AdSense, which is why, like, with all my other investment income and my Air Force income, I don't feel the pressure to squeeze you guys for, referral links, affiliate links, sponsors, pushing, signing up with Webull and getting 2 free stocks. I don't see myself doing that. And as my channel continues to grow and I just keep making more from Google AdSense, I definitely get it with other finance YouTubers. Why leave money on the table? It's a person's choice whether or not they want to use those affiliate links, referral links, or take your association with a sponsor serious. But I definitely could see myself as I continue to get bigger to just ignore all that stuff. I understand it's extra money, but I also just think it's a conflict of interest, and I don't need it. So, isn't that the dream? To have so much money invested that, like, you don't even have to worry about this nickel and dime stuff with Webull referral links. Maybe they're making more money than I think they are, but we'll see. Let's see here. Whew, it's going here. Just caught a windfall. Worst timing ever, it feels. Why, Brian? Money is money. Jackie wants me to make this a regular thing. Maybe I will. Maybe every 3 weeks. With my work schedule, I could probably swing that. Craig, $20 donation. Holy cow. Thank you, Jake, for the kind advice on Charles Schwab. Opened an account when you spoke highly. Watched your entire series of your 25K challenge. Keep live streaming, though. Thank you. I thank you so much, Craig. Let's see here. What are your book collections in the back shelf? Yeah, those are all my books, guys. Reading is really important. If you are not a strong reader, I highly recommend getting Audible, signing up with Audible, and getting maybe just the one Audible credit a month plan, and then have it be a finance and investing book. Just listen to it, try and passively absorb, when you're in the car or at the gym or stuck at the the sports clips, whenever you can find time. Big fan. Let's see. Raymond, can you do a piece on the Fed Reserve and why so many people hate it? Actually, it's a really good question. Where's my book? 1 second. So the book that I'm currently reading now is The House of Morgan, An American Banking Dynasty and the Rise of Modern Finance by Ron Chernow. Ron Chernow is the guy who wrote Hamilton, which is what the Broadway play is based off of. And he's probably America's foremost biographer. So he's done books on George Washington, John Adams, Alexander Hamilton, Ulysses S. Grant. But his first book from 1990 is on the Morgan family. So it's 100 years of banking dynasty from the grandfather, Julius Morgan, to the son, John Pierpont Morgan, to the grandson, John Pierpont Morgan Jr. And he dropped the junior once his father died. So people often get the father and the son confused because they had the same name. But this was America's most premier investment banking house for 100 years. So I'm up to I'm up to the market crash of 1929. So we'll see where it goes from there. But your question relating to the Fed and why people hate it, I think people just hate banks. They hate international banks. They hate anybody who controls the money policy when it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't favor you. In every decision made, there's going to be winners and losers. Now, if you're a government, obviously you want to be on the pluralist side, not necessarily the majority, but you want to try and benefit the most amount of people as possible. So anytime the Fed makes a decision, there's winners and losers. And those losers are going to fuel all kinds of conspiracies. But are people at the Fed, lizard people? No, I don't think so. Whew, there's a lot coming in here. Tom says, if you use the VA loan, should you still put down a 20% down payment if you have the money? I wouldn't. If maybe put down the 5% to get the VA funding fee down to only like 1.5% or something like that. But I wouldn't put down the full 20, because if you got the full 20, then you don't need the VA loan. You can just use a conventional loan, and there's less requirements for closing. So no, don't use the VA loan if you're going to put down 20% anyways. But if you've got the money, I would rather see you invest it instead than putting down 20%. Boomslang gave me a $5 donation. Thank you so much. I am buying you a bottle of Visine. Oh, for my eyes. Oh, my eyes are pretty red. I'm a very red individual, guys. It's just my Dutch heritage. So in my videos, I usually go to the color palette and try and squeeze out a little bit of red hue from the video, just because I'm always this color. I'm always just kind of red. So, what kind of car do you drive? Oh, Jesse is asking the good questions. I drive a 2015 Kia Soul and a 2012 Honda Civic. I have two cars. One of them I wasn't trying to get, but it just happened to fall into my possession, and its street value is only like $2,000. Well, it's probably gone up in the last 3 months, but no, don't have a nice car, guys. That's on my to-do list at some point in the future. Where are we at here? Still got 232 people watching. That's incredible, guys. My goal was to go for an hour, and we're at an hour 13. So why don't we do another 7 minutes? We'll take this to an hour 20. The stream is Jake showing us the room where it happens. Yep, that's my sectional sofa that I don't have put together. There's 3 components, and I've got one in the bedroom and one in the dining room to make room for basically my recording area, because I got these lights on, and that's my setup. And I don't really have people over. I don't really entertain that often. So why not just basically dedicate my living room to making YouTube videos full time? End the Fed by Ron Paul was an interesting read. Not saying I agreed with everything, but I also didn't disagree with many things. Oh yeah, I was a Ron Paul 2008 guy. He was against the Iraq War at the time, which was a unique perspective 13 years ago. Okay, we got Furbu, another $5 donation. That is incredible. Thank you so much. Big fan, sir. Do you think Dogecoin will grow like Bitcoin? Appreciate it if you can guide me. Any emerging stock or coin? No, Dogecoin is a joke currency. The person who created it as a joke, and he created it as an inflationary currency. So um, basically, like 50,000 Dogecoins. I don't know what the interval is. I'm not an expert on cryptocurrency or Dogecoin, but he deliberately made it so that the price of Dogecoin would be something absurdly small, like 0.0000, so that you could buy hundreds of thousands of Dogecoins and it would only cost you, a couple bucks. The fact that it got taken that far, where Dogecoin, I think it hit like 70 cents a coin. That was never the intention. That was never the plan. You can never say never, because with the meme investing power of the internet, it definitely could go back up again in the future, but I don't see it being a viable long-term usable coin. Literally anything else is a better option than Dogecoin. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much, AC. Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. Hey, Jake, love all you do. Would love to see more book content. Top 3 favorite books. It's not really a financial book, it's a political science book, but the number one book I recommend to people is Why Nations Fail. Who are the authors? There's two authors. I want to get their names right. Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson. When I read this book, it literally explains everything. Why there's wealth inequality in the world, why there are rich nations and poor nations. Once he laid it all out there, uh, it just made so much sense, and it just helps me understand why the world is the way it is sometimes. So if you guys want a book recommendation, I know it's not directly finance related, but I recommend Why Nations Fail. Therese says, marry for love, Jake. The person who marries for money usually earns every penny of it. Not worth your precious time. Cebu. Oh, I lost your comments. Sorry. Multimeter. Good choice with the Civic. there's a story. I didn't really choose this Civic. The Civic chose me. But yes, the Civic, the Corolla, the Camry, they're all pretty reliable grocery getters that should last a long time. My dad had a 1998 Toyota Camry that he only got rid of 2 years ago. So he had this thing for 2 years. Street value, the Kelly Blue Book value was $400, basically just the metal that the car was worth, and he was still driving it. So my dad takes thriftiness to another level. Okay, where are we at here? Oh, geez. Jackie, where do you think the U.S. economy is heading next year? So the stock market is different than the economy. The economy can be good, and unemployment can be low, and inflation can be low, and the stock market could still be going down. They should be correlated, but they don't have to be. So, will the economy be in trouble next year? I don't think so. Will the stock market be up its average 10% next year? Probably not. Tarika, hello there. This is so awesome to see you. Good to see you too, man. What is your view on inflation and COVID? Well, inflation and COVID are kind of two different issues. That's a tough question, but in my opinion, guys, if you're in the market, if you're holding S&P 500 index funds, inflation is baked in. Inflation is just part of the formula. So when you look at on average in the long run, an S&P 500 index fund going up in the long run 10% a year, inflation is baked in. When the price of goods and services goes up for companies, their revenue goes up. When the revenue goes up, their share price goes up. So if you're worried about inflation, I recommend just buy and hold long-term index funds, and it's just always been there. It's a little bit worse than it usually is, where the Fed tries to keep it between 1% and 3%. It's currently, according to the last information coming out, around 5%. So yeah, I think the Fed is going to start tapering and raising interest rates to stop it. Who are we at? Oh man, we're coming up close. Jesse, are we in a simulation? it's highly probable this is all a simulation, guys. When you actually like think about it, the probability that this reality is real and not just a simulation being run by an advanced civilization, yeah, it's not fun to think about. Bob Johnson, Jake, this has been a great way to spend Saturday evening. Thank you so much. So glad I happened to be on your first live stream. Hope you do it again. Love your channel. Who DS, do you own any Pfizer stock? What are your thoughts on it? It was stuck at 39 for the longest time, now making push. Pfizer, when you look at like where Pfizer stock has been the last 20 years, let's see here. Let's zoom out to max. And oh, it's not going to give me. So let's see here. Pfizer, that doesn't. All right, my chart's acting up. That doesn't look right. It's going up in the short term because people are talking about everybody getting vaccine boosters. These new mRNA vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer, they're not. They wear off apparently. So having to get a third or maybe a yearly booster to keep it effective, people are saying, well, that's going to be good for Moderna and Pfizer, which are both taking off right now. DB Cooper, dead hand strategy. What do you purchase shares? Why do you purchase shares before buying the calls? I purchase the shares so that my money is doing something. If I've got $87,000 in my Fidelity account, I don't want it just sitting there as cash. By buying and holding the SPY shares, I'm doing something with my money. Buying and holding the S&P 500 long term is a good long-term winning strategy anyways. Check out my most recent video that I uploaded today. DB, that's where I talk about it. Daniel, I'm still driving my 2000 Camry. That's right, those cars never die. Wow, 2000 Camry. Like, if I knew somebody driving a 2000 Camry still, I would applaud that person. I would say, you got it figured out, man. You know what you're doing. Like, if I had the choice between buying a 2000 Camry and a 2010, I don't know, like Subaru, I'd take the 2000 Camry just for the lulls. Whew. Is this really timing to buy? Is now a bad time to buy? Nobody can know. Nobody can say for certain. Whew. Anugrah, $5 donation. Thank you so much. Love your content. I was wondering if I should do the usual emergency fund saving and 401k, or can I start a brokerage account too, along with those two? It depends on how much you have to invest. Obviously, you should have an emergency fund at least 3 months worth of expenses. And then your 401k, take the matching amount. If your employer offers a company match, that's free money. That's a 100% return on your investment on day one of contributing. Beyond that, it's up to you. If you want to invest in a ordinary taxable brokerage account, or if you want to keep contributing to your 401k, it really comes down to when do you want to retire. If you want to retire and keep working until you're 59 and a half, then yeah, 401k is good. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to quit this game. I'm trying to stop working as soon as possible, and I can only do that with a taxable brokerage account or cash flowing assets. Jake, the real MVP for hitting every comment. How many other YouTubers do you watch do this? Respect. Thank you so much, AC. Oh, this is going on. Not lonely now on this Saturday nights. Oh, thank you so much. Ooh, hey Will. Hey Frankosaurus. Do you match traditional or Roth? I always do Roth. You can play with the percentages to debate who's actually saving more. But if you can afford Roth, you don't need the tax savings. On my channel, I'm always just going to tell people to do Roth. What credit cards are you going to close once you leave the military? All of them that have an annual fee, except for probably the Hilton Aspire card. Hey, Mike, another $5 donation. Holy cow. Did I hear you correctly? You make $8,000 a month as a YouTuber with 60,000 subscribers? Yes, you heard me correctly. I'll make, I've made a couple videos talking about how much money I make from YouTube. I'm not really hiding it, and I will. I'll do an update video maybe when there's like I hit 100,000 subscribers, or for sure at the end of the calendar year, I'll update you guys exactly how much money I made from Google AdSense and YouTube. So I just keep cranking out the video, guys. Every 48 hours, I release another 10 to 20-minute video, and I can't complain. Making close to $100,000, assuming I just stay level where I'm at. Making six figures in my living room in Minot, North Dakota. Talking about finance and investing videos. It's crazy how much. Yeah, I've never been a wealthy person, but if I keep this up, if I can keep this pace going, you know, I guess I'm there. I don't know. People don't believe me when I tell them, what I'm doing. Like my dad just doesn't understand it. He just doesn't even believe this is really a thing. Whew. Aloha, Walter. Good to see you. DS, do you only have a taxable brokerage? You don't have other retirement accounts? No, that's not true. I have a Roth IRA with Schwab. Tarika, I'm so proud of you for everything you have achieved. Congratulations. Frankosaurus, Chase Trifecta, better now than the preferred, has better multipliers. I mean, they kept the annual fee the same for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and they made it better. So that's a win all around. Whew. What will become of your TSP? I'm rolling it into my Roth IRA. So I've got a little bit of money in my traditional TSP side, and then most of my money in my Roth TSP side, and I'm rolling both of them into IRAs so I can have more control of them. I want to sell covered calls on my index funds that I hold in my IRA. So once I can afford 100 shares of SPY, I can sell covered calls on it every month. I can't do that until I move my money from my Roth TSP into my Roth IRA, and there's no tax implications because they're both Roth. Oh, we're at 126, so I guess we got to go an even 130, hour and a half, 100. Yeah, so 4 more minutes. James, you're still there. What do you use to review technicals? I use Yahoo Finance on my channel. Search for Yahoo Finance. I did a review of their website, and I go over the charting features. Roth IRA better with Vanguard or TD Ameritrade? So Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade 2 years ago. At some point, I don't know, maybe the accounts at TD Ameritrade is going to get merged with Schwab. So I like Schwab over Vanguard barely. So yeah, I guess go with TD Ameritrade. I hear nothing but good things, even though I've never used the Thinkorswim platform or their website. The military doesn't have a problem with servicemen having a side job. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much time you spend. So if it doesn't they can't stop me from investing and making money. Most military members, it feels like, have rental properties from previous bases that they were living at, and they've cash flowed them to be making money. Some military members, if they're close to 20 years, sometimes have 4 or 5 properties that they have rented out around the country, cash flowing to make them money. It takes time to manage all those properties, or they pay somebody to manage them. But nope, as long as you're not failing to show up to work and you're doing high quality work for your job, nobody's going to have a problem with you earning income on the side. And YouTube is weird because I don't have to be here. I don't have to do this. I don't have set hours or a schedule. I do it in my free time. And YouTube at its core is just a social media platform. The military is not going to stop you from having a Facebook account or a Reddit account. How is YouTube any different? This is at its core just a social media account that is somehow magically monetized, and I make money from it. Paul, favorite Korean food? Oh man, how can you go wrong with samgyeopsal? Just bacon, bacon and lettuce for dinner. Oh, I love Korean barbecue. How do you save in options gone wrong? Deep in the money calls or sold puts that get assigned and tank? Sorry, DS. That's a complicated question. That's sometimes you can't save it. Options are all or nothing sometimes, so you can get burned. Hey, Bobby. Great chat. Thanks. Daniel, thanks for all the videos. I've learned most of what I know about stocks from you. Thank you so much, Daniel. Wouldn't have started my IRA as early as I did if it wasn't for your channel. I'm going to be making more quality videos on understanding financial statements and the stock market. Those videos are going to be coming this fall. Best credit card setup. I mean, depends on the person, the purpose, but gun to my head, just go with the simple Chase trifecta setup and stay within the Chase ecosystem. Smash that like button. Have a good night, all. Thank you so much, AC. Have a good night. Whew, Yoda. Oh, you missed me. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. Aaron asks, are you a full-time YouTuber? Definitely not. I am a captain serving on active duty in the Air Force. Gabriel, how do you file taxes? I use TurboTax. Connor Brennan, thank you so much. A $20 donation. Holy cow. Been following your channel essentially since the beginning. Wow, back in my credit card days. Appreciate your kind demeanor, open-minded attitude, and ethical approach to finance entertainment. It's what makes you unique. Glad I caught this. Yeah, this is my first ever live stream. I'm thinking I might make this a 1 every 3 weeks thing to coincide with my work schedule with the Air Force, but glad you can make it. Brokerage account for a mortgage down payments. Good idea. I made a video about that. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You should go over an LES statement and a video. Yeah, I could do that. Whew. Okay, guys, we're at an hour 31. I went 30 minutes longer than I was planning. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you. I still have 235 people in this chat watching. That is 200 more people than I thought I would get on a Saturday night. But I'm glad you guys could spend this time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a good night. Thank you so much.